everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Joey Evans.
I'm Zee Garcia.
Today we're taking a look at a game called Lacuna. And it's a cozy game of mystical geometry.
Oh, how intriguing.
Now that sounds pretentious, and it also looks pretentious because this company kind of thrives on that. That's CMYK. I don't know if you remember their last game.
Done Wavelength.
They did Wavelength, which Wavelength and Monikers they're best known for. But their last game, they had this game where you stacked a bunch of fuzzies.
What?
And took them off with chopsticks. You know those little fuzzy things?
Yeah.
And they acted like this was some like, oh my, and people were like, oh, this party game. It's like, you're taking fuzzies off. I'm like, yes, that's the whole game. That's what it is.
Wow.
I never played that, but I know what you were talking about. It didn't seem like
Was
much.
it colorful too, I'm sure?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
it's
very
colorful.
colorful,
yeah.
It's fine. This looks like a box. This looks like a container of either tea or incense sticks.
To me, it looks like an old lady's perfume.
How much perfume do you think that old
I
lady
can
uses?
She
smell it
buys
now.
in bulk, so yeah.
I can smell that.
This is a two-player only game. It is abstract, and it's also pretty quick. Let me show you how it plays. In this game, you're going to spread out this board here in the middle of the table with the Looney Tunes sign on it. And you have 49 flowers in 7 different colors, 7 of each. Whoever goes first gets to pick one of these flowers and keep that color. The rest are going to be put into the container that the game comes in, which has a lid put on like this. And then you're just going to shake and put these all over the board. So let's get that lid in place here. And you kind of just spread them out evenly like this. I kind of wish they weren't round because they really bounce around. Doesn't really matter what kind of table you're using. And if they come off the board, you kind of just throw them on. It's more just a way to kind of get a random board for the 2 players. Now, once they're on, you spread them out a bit because you don't want there to be clumps, really. Like I said, this is just kind of a way for the initial randomization of the board. So once they're all on the board, the game can begin. Each player is going to get 6 pieces of their color, these nice gold and silver metal pieces. And starting with the first player, you take turns. You're going to put this between 2 pieces of the same color that has nothing else blocking them. You can put it anywhere in there. So maybe I put it here. You then take those 2. So gold would get both of those. Maybe silver decides to go here between these 2 pinks and take them. Then gold decides to go here and take both of these blues. Silver decides to go here and take both of these oranges. Let's see, gold then wants just to go between these 2 blues and take them. Silver goes between these 2 oranges here. Gold says, I'm going to go here between these 2 pinks and take them. Silver goes between these 2 blues. Gold between these 2 greens. Silver between these 2 blues. Gold between these 2 greens. And then silver gets the last move, which is pretty powerful. And that is why the first player gets an extra flower and goes here. Now, after everyone has placed on the board like this, the rest of the flowers on the board go to whichever piece is closer. So, for example, all 3 of these pieces go to gold because they're closer to gold. These 2 are going to silver. These 2 are closer to gold, and so on and so forth. You're going to do that with all the different pieces and give them out. If for some reason you can't figure out who's closer, the game provides a handy-dandy ruler, although I found that you have to use this very little. You can kind of just stand above, like from your perspective here in the camera. It's pretty obvious. Like this one might be tricky because who's closer to that piece, a gold or a silver piece, so you would measure that. After all the pieces are taken, players are going to see who has won each color. Now there's 7 of each color, so whoever has 4 or more of a color will win that color. And there are 7 colors, so whoever has 4 has 1, 4 or more colors is the winner. That's it. All right, let's briefly talk here about packaging. I understand that they needed this, sort of, to say, hey, sprinkle them on the table. Even though that doesn't work that well, since as round flowers, they all bounce out anyway.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I mean, again, the packaging here to be poured out, and I don't dislike this packaging. I don't want to own this or put it on the shelf, right?
That's what I mean. I don't like that.
But it's well packaged. I think it's going to attract people. It's going to catch people's eyes. I don't know if I would have so very little information on the box. I think they went with a really heavy hand, which is what gives it that, like, again, like you said, incense or tea or whatever, some flower patterns, and then a description of what this is would have helped.
Yeah.
But pouring is cool. They go everywhere.
It is, but it doesn't need to be that big. I mean, they probably fill in that little spot. That just is such a... The packaging is one of the negatives for me. It's like, where am I going to put that? When you get home, like, I don't know. I mean, yeah.
I also wish that the game, again, they feel like they're trying to be like, you already know how to play this. You know, if you're cool. Like, to the point of, in the beginning of the game, they're like, whoever goes first takes a flower. And then you play. And everyone's like, you must have made a mistake. The second player gets it. And that's because whoever goes second has a huge advantage in the last turn. When they put their last one out, they can kind of decide some stuff.
Yes, right.
You should put that in the rules. Because that's not obvious when you're playing the game.
Right.
It should say the first player gets this because the second player is an advantage because it's not a common thing. And the rules themselves were fine, but they also weren't clear on, they're like, you need a clear line of sight between two flowers. What does that mean? Is it middle to middle? Is it edge? Like if there's something even...
When a game has two rules, you shouldn't have questions about either one of them.
The best part is, though, when they tell you that, you know, two of the same color flowers have a line, and they'll have, like, two different color flowers and an X. This is not what we're talking about. It's like...
Well, I don't mind that. That's fine.
The examples are funny, but it's like... But there is, like, I don't know if a straight line, if your piece is there, is it still considered a straight line, or does another flower only block that?
No. But your pieces block the thing, which you should know.
Right.
But I'm saying, like, if it's 1 millimeter in between the two, does that count as
Right, that's
blocking?
what I meant as far as, like, is it side to side or middle to middle? That's what I was...
And that should be clear in the rules.
Right.
Because it's an easy game. Now, that being said, I like the game.
I do, too. A lot. She does not.
But I knew Z would probably not like it because of this.
I tried to hide it.
That's part of it. It's also just a very imprecise,
90% of it.
sloppy game. You're pouring out these things. They go everywhere, and it's just like, well, throw them back in. Okay, that's stupid. I could have just put them in the first time without the pouring.
No, I agree on that, but the game is a random setup, really.
Put it in between the two things. Like, do I need to hold up a straight edge to these two things? No, just somewhere along the line. And that's imprecise. And then at the end, you're doing the whole, like, if it's closest to you, okay. So some are obvious. Some you have to pull out the little ruler and measure and be like, well, I think it's closer to me, so I guess I'll take that one. I just don't like games that are imprecise. And when a game, again, has two rules and is imprecise, that's not fun for me. Yeah, I actually told you something which I hold true to.
Uh-oh.
And that
he doesn't like green olives.
He does not.
I think this game would be awesome, and I mean awesome, as an app. If I could have an app.
That is true.
And I touch on the one flower, I touch on the other one, they draw the line for me, whoop, whoop, or they tell me it's illegal, which they could figure it out right there. And then I click on where I want to put the thing, and they do all the scoring and all these go to me, whoop, and these go to you. That would be an awesome, 3-minute app that I would play. I really would. I just don't want to do it physically. I don't want to play this game where I'm doing that stuff. And I feel like, did I make a mistake? Like, should I have what I have? Or should you have what you have? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm able to just do that to that. I don't worry about that. I'm just putting the stuff in
It's kept me
between.
up.
And I thought it's really clever because at first, when the first time you and I played it, like the first half of the game, which is not very long.
No.
But you're sitting there like, what is going on? And then after you play, you're like, oh, to me it's so fascinating because you're picking two to take. And if you pick two to take of the same color twice, you've won that color.
Right.
Great. So you can clearly win a color, but you got to think, I need to win 4 colors, and where you put it. So that's the placement at the end, because there's 49 in here, and with 12 turns, you're taking 24 of those, so there's 25 left in there.
Yeah.
So that area control's about as important.
It is, right.
And I don't know.
where
I think
you
it's
make or
interesting.
break them. You make or break the game right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's interesting because like the second, third, and fourth, you think there's no strategy, you're just getting them. But then you realize, well, you're close to getting light blue. I'm not even going to worry about that. Or you've got that. There's no reason to get these. So there's a lot of, it does become a bit more thinky, and I do like that there's a bit more depth to it the more you play it. You know, so it's, yeah, I do. You know what, the handkerchief thing, at first when you brought it out, I thought, where are we going with this?
That's great. No,
I
that
like
works
it now.
well,
I'm
yeah.
like, this is nice. It collapses, it unfolds, it gives a good table presence. I like that.
Yeah.
I've also got to the point when I play this now, I just go grab all the. At the end of the game, you're like, okay, these are these. You take them off, and you might measure one or two.
Right.
The rest are like these are obviously that person's, and I can see that it might be better to do it slowly to build up suspense. Otherwise, you're like, all right, look at your pieces, and you don't even have to compare scores in this game
Yeah, right.
because you can look and go, I won 3 colors. I guess I lost. You know, you don't have to sit and say, well, what did you
Yeah.
get?
Right.
Now, I will say again, so many say it's so quick to learn. It's like, people say 5 minutes to learn.
A minute to
This-
learn, a lifetime to master.
Right, but this one really is, you tell them, you're like, okay, what else? That's it?
It's a game to grok.
Yes.
You have to play it once through.
You do.
But it'll take 5 minutes.
Right.
I mean, that's it.
That's
yeah.
true. It's a short game. All right, Z, what are you giving it?
I'm going to give it a 5. I think
It's
it's
higher than I thought.
No, I don't hate it. Again, it's fine. This is not a game I'm interested in playing again. I would play that app, like I said, I really would. But yeah, I just lack the lack of precision. I don't like the container. Really, I don't mind the motif they're going for here, but do it sparingly. Give me more information on this tube, mentioning a game, a picture. You know what I mean? Like more. It seems like they're so cool and above it all with this box. It's like,
Right.
we don't need to sell it to you. You know what I mean? We don't even need to pitch it to you what's in here. Just the pouring, yeah, but it's clever. The idea in it, the one idea really, that idea of area control kind of by proximity is a clever idea. I have to give them props for that. I'm not interested in it. I'm not going back to it. So 5.
I agree with Z on a lot of what he said there and how it looks. And I do wish, again, I think the flower motif is great, but I wish they didn't then roll right off the table when you do all that. But the concept of the game is a lot of fun, and it felt different, and to me in a pleasing way. I like this one, so I'm giving it a 7. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's actually where I'm coming to right at too. And I would honestly go higher. Here's the thing. I can see my wife and I taking this on vacation, and, you know, like if we're at the hotel or whatever.
It's too fat,
But
though.
that's the problem. The whole packaging of it. If it was in a bag with everything and you just reach in the bag and drop or whatever.
Yeah, I think, wouldn't that work, right? Just
It would
dropping
work.
around
Just,
the board. And then,
you know, it's like,
because
you could...
once I dump them out, I then have to fix everything with my
You
hands
have to
anyway.
move them back into there anyway, and I'm like, I know, but you could look. Well, be an adult and don't. You know, it's
Also,
like
it's a 2-player game, so we
right, and they'll see you. Look, but just drop them in there. But I do like. I didn't think of it until you guys said it. The area control, where at the end, if you're the only piece that's in this area, you're going to get this little quadrant. You got to make sure there's not too many there. I like it if the packaging was smaller and it was more compact as a travel game. I would probably rate it a bit higher.
I wouldn't mind if this came like this in this packaging and that board, which is a cloth,
Right.
had a way to cinch, had like a cinch line sewed into the outside.
So it became like a bag.
So you could then like throw everything in it,
Wow.
cinch it up, whoop. It's like a little hobo bag. You can take that with you, and then everything's
like
in there
that.
anyway. Then you open
Yeah.
it, and all the flowers, you just need to spread them because they're already in there.
Like a stick, so you can carry it like
Well,
this.
now you're being a dork.
All right, folks. Well, that is Lacuna. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Joey Evans
I'm Zee Garcia.
Lacuna Matata.
with a stick.